Okay, so okay, now let's talk about the this module a bit นะครับ on last class I just like introduce you นะครับ for this module นะครับ a bit for the user interface design นะครับ this one we move from the analysis phase to the design phase already นะครับ and then in this phase we will talk about like the guidelines for the user interface นะครับ we will talk about the guideline for user interface also the components นะครับ and also the components in what the components in user interface นะครับ like screen elements and control and also I'll talk about the output design นะครับ the technologies for input and output design and issues as well นะครับ so in this module นะครับ because this module is like the next phase after the analysis phase and is one of the most important phase นะครับ because it is the way that you have to just communicate between นะครับ users and the programmers นะครับ or developer so that's why we have to prepare the physical design นะครับ and this physical design must match with the requirements of the user so that the users will be satisfied with like the system that will come out and also the developer has to serve the needs of the requirements of the users as well นะครับ so the task in this phase นะครับ we have to do user interface design also we have to do the data design นะครับ and also we do the system architecture as well นะครับ so in this one นะครับ so the output นะครับ or the deliverable of this design phase is the design spec นะครับ document นะครับ is the design spec document so in this phase นะครับ when we talk about the user interface design นะครับ this is the first task of the design phase นะครับ so when we have to do นะครับ the design phase here it is extremely important นะครับbecause as I told you earlier this is the way นะครับ is the what to say the main entrance for the users when they have to use the system นะครับ so everyone wants a system to be easy to learn and easy to use as well นะครับ when we talk about UI นะครับ or user interface นะครับ it just like consists and combine all of these things including hardware software นะครับ screens นะครับ menus functions output and features นะครับ that the users will be used to interact นะครับ or interface with the system นะครับ so okay in the past นะครับ we had the UI design นะครับ started from process control นะครับ in the past it's just like everything was straightforwardly you had a button นะครับ that was easily understand and then you just click or just press or just tap นะครับ on the button and just that นะครับ that was to control the process in the information system only นะครับ so because in the past we say that okay we had the centralized data processing นะครับ we try to make the users to be able to control the system นะครับ and it was enterprise wide system so that means you design once and everyone in the organization use the same page or same screen นะครับ the primary focus also shifted from IT department to users themselves now you can see that each person or each user may want their own need นะครับ or their own design so because right now it becomes a user-centered system นะครับ in order to make everyone or every user to what to say customize นะครับ their own screen their own user interface นะครับ it requires the understanding of human computer interaction นะครับ and also user-centered design principles as well for user interface designer or UI designer นะครับ this one นะครับ sometimes the system analyst may have to do the UI by yourself some of the systems you may have the UI designer that you specially hire them to do the UI design so that it match with what the users need นะครับ so for the human computer interaction นะครับ this is a science นะครับ a discipline a subdiscipline in computer science as well นะครับ human computer interaction or HCI นะครับ this science นะครับ describe the relationship between computers and the users นะครับ or people who use that system นะครับ or people who use that computers to perform their task or their job นะครับ normally the HCI นะครับ can be conveyed between users and the computer through the GUI นะครับ graphical user interface นะครับ the main objective for the HCI is to create user-friendly environment and design that is easy to learn and to use นะครับ so that's why you can see that right now if you just like have a look on some offices some chairs นะครับ apart from cozy นะครับ the users when they sit นะครับ they have to work effectively as well so HCI also related to ergonomics as well so you can see that when you go to some offices their chairs นะครับ look like very modern and also once you sit on that chair you feel like it's very comfortable and then you can just like work for a long time without any tired นะครับ without any tiredness so that one is the ergonomic design that is a part of HCI and user interface design too so that means some of the chairs may cost you like 30,000-40,000 baht นะครับ because it's not just because of the materials but it's because of the design the design here means that you can sit and work without having the problems like the what to say office syndrome something like that while some of the chair you can see that if you have to sit somewhere for example if they have a stool and then you just like sit on the stool for a long time you just like you feel have some back pain or you may feel just like some tired on your legs นะครับ or sometimes on the table that might be like too low นะครับ from the position that you sit you may feel like oh you have the neck ache something like that and when you just like take a look on the screen for a long time it may cause the problem of just like eye injury as well and you may have heard that okay right now many of the screen นะครับ they try to have the way in order to reduce the Blu-ray color the blue light the blue light นะครับ because it can destroy your eyesight as well so this is the part of the HCI that you have to know นะครับ now let's see the next one I'm going to talk about the user interface design for the user's rights นะครับ so the first one in terms of perspective นะครับ users always is right users always is right you cannot say that oh no this one is wrong you don't say like that no in terms of user interface design they are always right นะครับ for the users if there is a problem with the use of the system is the problem not the user you may have heard this one all the times but in reality you might think that actually it's their fault but actually they are always right นะครับ because they will say that okay because this system is not good so that's why when I just type I just do as usual but the system just like give me some wrong output นะครับ something like that next installation user has a right to install and uninstall software and hardware systems easily without negative consequences for example if you have a software and you ask them or the apps and you ask them to install the software if they uninstall it you must not have the penalization นะครับ for uninstallation of that software นะครับ or you shouldn't just like make that uninstallation to be just like very difficult task นะครับ don't do like that because next time they will never use your system again นะครับ the next one compliance user has a right to a system that performs exactly as promised if you just like claim that your system can do this can do that and when they use your system and the system can't do it นะครับ they may blame the system. That is compliance that you have to think about นะครับ next นะครับ number 4 is instructions. User has a right to easy to use instructions like user guides, online or contextual help, and error message that give the guideline to the users how do they fix the problem easily นะครับ for them to understand and utilize system to achieve desired goals and recover the problem efficiently and gracefully from the problem situations นะครับ number 5 control users has right to control a system and to be able to get the system to respond to a request for attention นะครับ number 6 feedback users has a right to a system that provide clear understandable accurate information regarding to the task that is performing and progress toward completion. Number 7 dependencies they have the right to be informed clearly about system requirements and successfully using software or hardware. Number 8 for the scope นะครับ they have right to know the limits of the system capability system can or cannot do what นะครับ in what level นะครับ number 9 assistance they have the right to communicate with the technology provider and receive a thoughtful and helpful response when raising concerns นะครับ number 10 their usabilities users have the right should be master of software and hardware technology not vice versa นะครับ products นะครับ should be natural and intuitive to use so that's why you can see that when people talk about smartphone นะครับ even we said that in the past we just use the numeric keypad phone only and you change to be smartphone it must be easy enough นะครับ so they can even use the natural and intuitive way in order to control that mobile phone easily so that's why you can see that people we like to have the smartphone because it's easy to use นะครับ easy to install or uninstall the apps นะครับ if you don't want okay so now let's talk about the principles of user-centered design นะครับ so that means when you have to think of the user-centered design just think of the user first นะครับ if you were the user what do you want from the system นะครับ so in terms of principle of user-centered design the first one you have to understand the business first นะครับ before you understand the users you have to understand the business first the business here means that the business that your users are doing นะครับ for example if you said that your customers นะครับ or your users are running a business of convenience store you have to think นะครับ and you have to understand the nature of the convenience store business นะครับ what should they do and what is their nature นะครับ the next one try to maximize graphical effectiveness because you can see that right now you can design everything on the screen นะครับ effectively because right now the screen resolution is like very good นะครับ but anyway you have to think some of the design นะครับ you may just like if your users normally they use smartphone then you have to know that the size of smartphone screen is just at most like 6 or 6.5 inches in the diagonal thing direction only so that means if you try to fit everything นะครับ in one page that is not good or if you say that okay user can scroll left or right นะครับ that is not good either นะครับ for the smartphone screen so that means in one page it should fit for some of the things that you think it is necessary for the users to do it in one screen only นะครับ if there are just like some other functions that you can just like let the users to go to another screen okay that would be better instead of just like squeeze everything into one screen only นะครับ the next one think like a user นะครับ as I told you earlier just think if you were a user what are you going to do or what would you like to have นะครับ then you have to use models and prototypes because when the user see the models and prototypes they understand more นะครับ more than the abstract things that you try to just like let them understand for example if you would like to talk about like the login screen นะครับ don't just tell the users that okay we have one login screen there will be 5 text box that you have to fill up and there will be like 6 buttons that you may be able to choose. Don't just like explain like that. You should have models or prototype and show the user so that they understand what you are explaining นะครับ focus on usability นะครับ focus on usability when users have to use your screen or the user interface design ครับ it must be usable นะครับ after that invite feedback when you just explain to your users นะครับ describe for the usability and the user interface design they may have like some comments or some feedback just let them tell you นะครับ because they are the one who will use the system นะครับ so you should just like hear their feedback and then just fix นะครับ or revise the problem as much as you can and then you have to document everything นะครับ because the need of the users นะครับ if you just like hear and remember sometimes some part might be like very little details you can't remember it then you should document everything นะครับ so the next one นะครับ when you have to design the user interface นะครับ you should follow the basic guidelines นะครับ there are 8 basic guidelines altogether for the UI design the first one design a transparent interface นะครับ that means the users นะครับ can see like what are we going to do or what is the next step that you are going to have something like that so that's why when you have to design a website normally we need to have just like the website maps so that once you just like propose this one to the users they know that okay once I click on this button okay we're going to display on the next page and what will happen นะครับ next create an interface that is easy to learn and easy to use นะครับ what does it mean by easy to learn ครับ easy to learn here means that once the user do something doesn't matter whether it's correct or wrong นะครับ they should know what will happen next or what to be done next for example if you have a box if you have a pop-up windows and if you have just like some buttons นะครับ for example you have 3 buttons on the screen like this if you say that you have a box with 3 buttons the first button said yes second button is okay and the last button said cancel if the user just type something wrong นะครับ and then you pop up windows like this said yes okay cancel which button that user has to click what is different between yes and okay what's wrong if the users click on cancel นะครับ so in this one this kind of design is not good at all นะครับ is not good at all because it's not easy to learn next time when this box pop up again the user will never know what will they have to do and also this box นะครับ this pop-up window doesn't have any explanation at all you just have 3 buttons this one is not good you should tell the users what's going on นะครับ even you say that hey but anyway users will not see it or will not read it they always click on a button นะครับ so you can see that in here users because as I told you earlier users is always right นะครับ they don't care whether your box is showing something or not showing something right now they see just 3 buttons yes okay and cancel if there is something wrong นะครับ I'm sure that the way that users will do, firstly, they will click yes first. And if the pop-up box shows again, they will click OK because they thought that, okay, clicking cancel or clicking yes didn't work, then they click OK. If they click OK once again and this window pop up again, okay, I'm sure that they will try click cancel นะครับ and if they click cancel and there's nothing happen once again, they will learn that, oh, if this pop-up box showing, you have to click cancel นะครับ sometimes this might not be our intention, but it might be the bug of the program, but user learns already. So this one you have to be careful. If this one happen, you must be able to explain that what's going on นะครับ when this box happen นะครับ so try to create user interface that is easy to learn and use. This one, okay, if you ask me that is it easy to use or not, yes, it's easy because we have just buttons. Then user just respond to this window by just clicking a button only. But the problem is that these buttons are not usable นะครับ because they don't know what's going on if they click on each button, something like that. And the design here is not nice because you can see that we use different fonts style. Okay, some of the buttons we use the capital letters. Some of them I use just like the case letter นะครับ the sentence case นะครับ like capital case for the first character, and the rest of them I use a small letter, something like that. This is not good either นะครับ the next one, number 3, enhance user productivity. Once you create the user interface design, it should be able to just like let the users to work effectively นะครับ so it helps to enhance user productivity instead of letting user to just like go back and forth นะครับ on many pages to complete that task. That one decrease the productivity of the users because instead of letting users to finish everything in one page นะครับ for example on the computer screen, if you just like let them to use like many screens to finish นะครับ unnecessarily, that would not be the way that would not be the good way นะครับ the next one นะครับ number 4, make it easy for users to obtain help or correct errors. If there is the error, it might be possible that users just choose or just enter some values wrongly, but you should offer or you should just like provide the help for them how to fix that problem นะครับ for example, if they enter some wrong values, instead of letting they go to the next page, you may just like pop up an error box to them first, and then you may just like bring the users to that error นะครับ for example, you scroll the page automatically to see what's wrong with the input that users enter. Apart from that one นะครับ you may just like highlight the error that users input. For example, if they type something wrongly, you may show with the red color นะครับ some of us may just like clear out that value for the users and just like make that box to be in red so that users know they have to fix this problem, while some of the people, when they design the error handling, they still show the error value, but they just put the color of the text in red and then show the error, tell that, okay, what's wrong with it, and you let the users to fix that problem by themselves by just like changing or editing that values นะครับ that is for guideline number 4. Now for guideline number 5, try to minimize input data problems. So you can see that in here นะครับ there are some examples that you can see that how people try to minimize input data problems นะครับ for example, if you go to buy something, some products from convenience store like 7-Eleven or other convenience store, you can see that right now the cashier, they don't type number of items or the product code anymore. Normally they scan นะครับ they scan the product code by using barcode นะครับ even you buy like more than one piece of the same item นะครับ instead of typing 2 items นะครับ and then scan, right now, if you buy 2 items of the same product, they scan each product item at time. They don't press any button to enter the number of item at all, because this one, okay, is a policy of the company that if they enter number of items, you may enter wrong numbers. For example, if the customer order just 2 items, but you just like press the button wrongly, if you press 1 or you press 3, because you can see that on the keyboard 1, 2, and 3 are on the same row. So the things that will happen is, firstly, customer will receive the wrong number of items, and then they may complain to the cashier that this one they overcharge the customer, something like that. So that's why the cashier normally scan 1 product at a time without pressing number of items. But anyway, what if the barcode scanner is broken? They still have like some other alternative ways in order to solve that problem as well. If they have just 1 cashier only, okay, the things that they may fix the problem is that they may have to just type the number of the barcode manually. This might be an alternative ways for them to fix the problem. Apart from that one, let's think. You can see that when we talk about like the convenience store. Why do I have to talk about convenience store? Because it's the easiest example that all of us have seen it. Suppose we would like to pay the money. You can see that right now many of us have been using the e-wallet or m-wallet from your smartphone. You can see that we don't need to type anything with the cashier's machine. The things that they do is that the things that we have to do is that we have to use an application to open up our e-wallet, open up the payment to let the cashier to scan on the barcode on your smartphone. You can see that in this one, apart from the error-free, is that you don't need to just like touch on other people's computer. That is good for the social distancing policy right now. Second one, it supports the bring your own device. Even the customer can bring their own device for their electronic wallets. So it's the touchless ones. So you can see that. But anyway, some of the payment system, like if you go to some coffee shop, for example, if you go to Amazon coffee shop, even you say that, okay, you can pay by using the QR code, but when they ask you for the member card, they still ask you to press on the buttons anyway. They have the numeric keypad, and then you have to press on the button. I'm sure that soon they will have to just develop an apps in order to let their members to scan to let the barcode for the member ID to be scanned instead of pressing the buttons. So this one, okay, people try to find the way in order to minimize the input data problems as much as they can. So one good way is that we may use like some technologies like scanning the barcode, or we may use like the touchless ways, like by using some radio frequency. For example, on many of the mobile phone right now, we have like the near field communication technology, or NFC, to tap your mobile phone with like the scanner. For example, if we go to the BTS system, you can just like use the applications, or you can use the specially designed SIM card, so that you can just like load your electronic wallet into that SIM card, and also you can just tap on the gate in order to open the gate to go into the SkyTrain system. This is to minimize input data problems as well. The next one, number 6, provide feedbacks to users. Provide feedback to users means that your system has to provide the feedback to user that what's going on. For example, some of the feedback might be in terms of like the LED light,